Don't breathe. Unnecessary orders.
Yes.
This movie leaves you breathless.
Yeah. So yeah, we just saw Don't Breathe, of course. So what do you think?
Wow.
Tense, right?
Yeah.
Very intense.
Through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, my only real problem was there is a little thing where they show the beginning or whatever. They have like a future event,
Yeah,
and that did kind of spoil things a little bit for like.
It sort of does, although you don't really know if it's her.
Well, I could tell right away it was her because I've seen the trailer, so I could tell. It was her.
So I guess that would be the only problem, or at least one of probably two. But
I didn't really have any. That was my only problem. Other than that, yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really intense, really well shot and everything. Because it's directed by I think it's like Freddy Alvarez or something who did the Evil Dead remake, and he also did like this other like movie, this short film about robots or whatever. That's the reason why Sam Raimi wanted to pick him for the Evil Dead remake. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought he did well, even with what he did with Evil Dead, the film style he did for that. Though, have you seen the Evil Dead remake?
No, I haven't. No.
You wouldn't like it. It's not for you. It's really gory and like.
Well, this was kind of gory.
Yeah, well, but it's like really like over the top because it's also very psychological too. Like it plays that one. Okay, so is this one too?
Yeah,
this one. You can see if you want. You can see if you want. I'm just saying that I don't know if it would be your thing though, but.
Piranha, is it like a Piranha 3D or something?
No, okay. It's not a comedy. It's not. That's a comedy, more of a comedy than a horror movie. But yeah, this is. But it's yeah. But this. But yeah, I like this. It actually reminds me a lot of there's another horror movie I saw called The Collector, because that one's also about someone who's trying to rob a house, but then there's also a killer inside. Except that one's like the killer's inside. It's not like the killer's house.
Yeah.
And also this one's he's blind, which also kind of leaves it interesting because he's blind, so he can't really see them. So it's like.
Yeah. But because he's blind, that means his other senses are amplified. And so when he's around, you have to act like you just drank nitroglycerin. Don't move, don't breathe, don't do anything except pray. I don't know if you've seen Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
No, it's been a really long time.
Yeah. And speaking of pray, the part where the girl starts praying and.
Is that the other problem you had with it?
Well, not really. It was just kind of surprising because he says there's nothing a man can't do once he accepts that there is no God. Really? He believes that? The theory that if God doesn't exist, then everything is permissible?
Yeah, well, because it's just that, like, because with God, there are some people, like, probably before that, he was probably really religious and stuff. And he probably, because, like, he's obviously a man who lost his faith because his daughter died. That happens to a lot of people who lose their kids. A lot of them lose their faith.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he probably just feels that way. That like, oh, well, he's dead, so I can force it. That means I don't have to have morality anymore. I can do whatever the heck I want. I can murder and people. There's no one who's got to punish me. Yep. So that's kind of his standpoint. Anyways, it's like the loss of God is kind of what makes him scary in a way too, because for a lot of people, God is something that makes you feel safe and whatever. So it's like he has no God, he doesn't believe in God, so it makes him scary. I guess I think that was the idea, anyways. Kind of.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah,
I mean, considering how he's like he's. I guess he's kind of disconnected from like civilization. I mean, the argument against that theory is that we still gotta coexist as a society.
Yeah, but people, you don't need faith to do that, though. There's a lot of people who still feel that way, even though they don't have any religion or anything.
Yeah, I know that. It's very debatable, but.
But it just but I knew that would probably bug you a little bit, but it didn't bug me because I don't really.
It didn't really bug me.
Okay, because of course, a lot of people who, like I said, who lose their kids who had faith before tend to lose it because they believe.
Yeah, that was the case with Charles Darwin.
Charles Darwin, that's what happened with him?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. But and it's just. I mean, it's either that. Well, there's either two mindsets that happen when something really bad happens to a person. It's either that there is no God, so there is no God because why would someone let him? Or there is a God and he's a jerk. He just doesn't let, or something.
That'd be the Richard Dawkins idea.
Yeah, that's just it's either that you think I want something really bad. It's either that God doesn't exist or he's a jerk. That's those are the two mindsets that usually happen when something bad.
Mm-hmm.
But and of course you have no faith. Then you're just
so the only what is the only other problem I have with this movie is just whenever the heroes like get out are just about to like get out of a situation, or they just made some big accomplishment and it feels like they're going somewhere, he always just shows up right at that moment.
Okay, that didn't bug me so much, but yeah, I guess it can get a little annoying.
Yeah,
because he's one of those guys. He's one of it's another one of those things with when you have a killer where you keep hitting him, he keeps getting back up. You keep knocking that person over, they keep getting back up. I mean, when he was chained up, I knew he was gonna break out of that because I've seen movies and stuff like. Did you ever see John Wick with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
There's that scene where she breaks out of the handcuff by breaking her finger. He seems like a guy who would definitely do that. So though I don't think he did that.
Yeah, it's kind of that case where they just want to keep making you go, come on, just die already, die! Yeah, and man, you feel it.
I mean, I understand because it's supposed to be intense. It's supposed to be like, oh my god, are they gonna get out? Oh man, he keeps coming back. They're finally gonna get out. Oh darn it! And it's just like,
yeah. Once they actually start to go into the house, it does not let up for a second. You feel on the edge of your seat through the whole thing. And in fact, when at times when it is silent, because like the guys are trying to keep completely quiet when he's around, you kind of feel that way too. There was a part when like Alex is around the corner from the blind man, and I heard someone behind us like make some kind of squeaking sound on the seat, and I was like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah, I know, I heard that too. I was like, what the heck's wrong with this? Just because it was like really quiet, and it's just like, I think my favorite scene has got to be when he turns out the lights and they're like,
oh yeah,
that was great. We saw it in the trailer that was too, like, but it was way better than
that was like the ending of Silence of the Lambs. You know, when you're like seeing the night vision of Buffalo Bill as he's following Jodie Foster through the pitch black.
I haven't seen that movie in a while, so I can't say that. But yeah.
Yeah, and the acting during that scene, like through the whole thing, they just have like this expression. You know, they're trying to see like whatever they possibly can, so they're just holding their eyes wide open.
Yeah.
The acting is terrific.
Yeah.
Especially Stephen Lang.
As the blind man.
As the blind man.
He's just called the blind man. I love that.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really need a name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, another thing that also made that scene, the scene where it turns out the light better in the trailer, he's like, "I'll make you see what I see." I was like, when I saw that in the trailer, I'm like, that's kind of lame. But then when it's in the movie,
he doesn't say it.
Yeah, like, thank God.
Yeah, it's just like trailer bait and stuff, and it's it doesn't. I don't think he. Yeah, it makes.
Another thing I found interesting about him too is he doesn't talk very much either. Like he's not one of those killers who goes, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." He only talks like in that one.
He's just a really screwed up guy, and he's just got like this. Like this kind of really low growl in his voice.
And speaking of messed up like old men with the killer old men movies, there's actually a new movie coming out with James Caan. You know who he is? The actor. James Caan or whatever his name is. Okay, he was in Elf. He was Will Ferrell's dad, or James Caan. Did you see Elf or no?
I've seen part of it.
Yeah, he was the dad he was looking for. I think the actor's name is James Caan. Or whatever. He's like this. But there's this new movie he's starring in where these kids are trying to trick him by making him think his house is haunted, but he's actually like this mentally unstable old man or something like that. And he's like, it looks really cool though. It kind of reminds me of this. But it looks. You should look it up. I forgot what it's called.
Okay.
But that looks really good. So, but yeah, but I think that like this kind of messed up person is kind of it makes him scary or whatever. But
yeah, it does, and it definitely does a lot with its premise. There's another bit where Alex like falls out of a window and lands on like a glass ceiling, and it's kind of like the trailer bit in The Lost World.
So he's knocked out completely. Like he's asleep. Like he's just out.
Yeah, and so like the blind man is like below him under that, and so can't let the glass crack. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's actually Actually, it's kind of closer to the Scorch Trials, because in that one, instead of a trailer, it's a tilted building.
Yeah. But there's like this whole film is just really intense from like
Yeah.
and even the beginning parts before the killing part were actually really interesting because like I remember when we saw the mechanic resurrection earlier today and the parts before the action scenes were just boring when the stuff like well except for like well like but the stuff before this is also very interesting. You got to learn about these characters and all everything.
Yeah, you learn a bit about them, probably like just enough to, at least in the case of like Rocky, you really want her to get out.
Yeah, because you don't learn much about Alex except that his dad's a locksmith or something like that, or
Yeah.
he works for a security company.
And then the other guy that they just call Money.
Yeah, he's the boy. He's Rocky's boyfriend, and he's Jane Levy, who's really good in this too. She was also in the Evil Dead remake too. She was. If you thought she was really good in this, you should see her in the Evil Dead remake. Like she plays a crazy character, and you buy it. Like she goes nuts in that, and she does a really good job. That's probably like the best performance I've seen from her. But she's really good. She's been in like I've seen her in a bunch of stuff. Like she's also going to be in Monster Trucks next year.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's the girlfriend. She's in Monster Trucks. She's also on an ABC show called Suburgatory that was really funny. She was on that too. That was cute. But yeah, she's really good. I don't think I've seen her in anything where I've been like she's like or I've thought she's done a bad job. What'd you think of her? You liked her in this?
Oh yeah.
And even what's his name? The guy played Alex.
Dylan Minnette from Goosebumps, and Alexander in The Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day,
and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, this is probably the best performance I've seen from him actually, because. Yeah. He's just been kind of mediocre in all the stuff I've seen, and I didn't see the Alexander movie because it didn't interest me whatsoever. So, but yeah, I thought he was really good in this. This is probably the best I've seen from him. Though Money wasn't, he did all right, I guess. He was just kind of playing a jerk.
I mean, as we see in the trailer, he's the first one to get killed off.
And he's a jerk, and he's like some jerk. He even calls Rocky's girlfriend not so nice word. You can kind of tell he's just not a very good boyfriend, but
yeah. And also before the blind man wakes up, there's another one of those really long unbroken shots, and what it does is like it might zoom in on like certain objects and then zoom out. And then it might follow one of the characters again. And then like zoom in on another object, and later you find out what that means, because it's like you know that the blind man has like memorized where all this stuff is.
Yeah, and then he knows about the bell because there's like a girl in the basement or whatever.
And that is another thing.
The trailer they already said it, but we're not going to tell you why she's down there. What's the deal with that? But yeah, if you've seen the trailer, you know there's already like another girl or something in the basement.
Yeah, kind of. And another thing is that also like you definitely like get a feel for the geography of the whole house. It's not like just an endless loop of rooms.
Yeah, this movie also had a really cool closing credits sequence. It probably had one. It was really cool. I liked it. But yeah, I think this also did kind of remind me a bit of what he did with Evil Dead 2, how it was a bit of a psychological movie. How psychological it was. It was really just like because it did have some psychological elements. Because I don't know if like anyone would come out of this kind of being really happy. They'd probably have some problems. Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure Rocky's gonna have some problems, and though after what happened to her.
Yeah, the very end of this movie.
We don't want to spoil it though, but
yeah, you think you know what happens, but then it didn't, and I won't tell you what happens, but the only thing you're thinking of at the end is just get the frick out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Just run, lady, run. Run, Forrest.
Man, I'm really gonna need to sleep after this, but I know I'm not going to be able to.
I don't know. I mean, like stuff like I can always sleep okay when it comes to movies about killers, because I don't really know why any killer, why some blind guy would want to be a killer blind dude when it be my house.
Well, yeah.
And that's like, I mean, of course he got lost and he's like, I'll kill these people. For some reason I'm bored.
Yeah. So yeah, go watch it.
But I really liked it. Like I said, it reminds me of a lot of other. I'm sure it reminds me of a lot of other films. Like The Collector, definitely it reminds me of The Collector a bit, though. Except that one, like I said, the killer isn't. It actually isn't the killer's house. But except in that, since it's from some of the writers of Saw. It's like he does set up some traps and stuff, but it's not as like Saw or anything. But yeah, The Collector is in a movie kind of like this that was really good. Except it's not about. Also, the killer's not blind, so and that. But that one. But yeah, I really like this, and I think it was really interesting. And the music too. There was some good music in it too. I thought the music was kind of nice. And that dog was just like intense. That dog.
I gotta say,
because the blind man had a dog too. That would help.
Yeah,
him.
it's like a bulldog that.
That was played by two dogs, actually. If you look at the credits, there's two of them.
You know, through all that, even when the dog is like on the side of like the evil guy, I never want to see it die. Especially not today. I was like, no, please don't do it. Today is National Dog Day.
Oh, it is?
It is.
It's National Dog Day? Wow. It's National Puppy. Pet the puppy. But yeah, I know. Even though he's basically just a loyal dog. That's it. I just don't feel, even though I always feel bad, even if it is like, even though I understand he's trying to kill the people we want to survive. So
yeah, okay.
So what happened to the dog? I don't know if it showed. Did it die?
I don't know. I guess the blind guy just left it in the trunk of the car.
Yeah, I'll go back for him later. He thought he was going to be okay, and he'd go back for him later. Or maybe he'd die, I don't know. We didn't see anything, so...
Okay.
But, so I guess we should get to final thoughts grading.
Yeah, I guess we should. I'm totally recommending it if you can stomach it. Mm-hmm. Because... yeah, when it's finally all over, you really gotta let a huge breath out. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you give it?
I'm going to give it like the best A- I can give it.
Yeah, I'll probably give it an A- too. I think it is a really good film, but of course, I did feel the beginning was there was a kind of spoily opening scene. I don't know why they went with that. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it was still very intense. Like it's a very intense film, and yeah, I do get kind of sick and tired of the killer, those movies with the killer that just you keep hitting him, but he keeps getting back up for some reason. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, at least it makes a bit more sense in this than it did in Orphan. Do you ever see Orphan?
No.
Or like the orphan girl, like she's like tiny, and they keep kicking her, but she keeps stabbing her or something. She keeps getting back up. Like she's like really small. How does that happen? But yeah, I mean, but with him I can kind of get it because he's a soldier and he's really strong, so he can probably take a lot of punishment, I guess. But yeah, but on that, yeah, A-. It's good. I definitely do recommend this film. I think you should check it out. I actually recommend this over Lights Out. Actually, even though like I said, I hate Lights Out's very good, but I don't know about Conjuring 2. I might have still liked Conjuring 2 a bit better than this, but I still really like. But they're both really good, so yeah.
Alright, so some new trailers. The Disappointments Room.
That looks cool.
Yeah, that's actually in 2 weeks, and I think the trailer just dropped.
Yeah, I know. I love where she's trying to put the keys, and it's a really good edited trailer. I like it. However,
and it doesn't end with a jump scare. It just ends as it goes into darkness, and you just hear it go, "Oh my god."
Yeah, it's really, I thought that was really, I think it's a really good trailer. I don't know about the movie itself. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Although the Disappointments Room,
it is kind of silly.
Disappointments as opposed to the Spooks Room.
Yeah, but I don't know. It looks good, and it looks kind of like a psychological thing too. So, and it's from the director of Disturbia. I really like Disturbia.
And I Am Number 4.
Well, I Am Number 4 was all right. I mean, the last half was good, but the most of it was just kind of bleh.
I gotta check out Disturbia.
Yeah,
I have that on my watch list. We've got the new Doctor Strange.
Well, okay, but what are you gonna give it?
Disappointments Room. I suppose so. Yeah.
All right, yes. We got the new Doctor Strange.
The new Doctor Strange. This trailer actually makes me really want to see it. Just all the.
I like the first trailer, but yeah, I do think this one's a little better. Yeah. And this is from.
I kind of like the ending joke. Yeah. Is this like my mantra? No, that's just the
Wi-Fi password.
The Wi-Fi password. We're not savages.
Yeah, but yeah, this movie is this Doctor Strange is from the same people who wrote, the same writer and director of Sinister.
Hmm.
Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill or whatever his name is. You see, Robert, what's his name, used to be a movie critic too, which is pretty interesting. But they technically did also write Sinister too, but they didn't have anything to do with the directing, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna blame them for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like of course all the bending time and stuff, and
Yeah.
I've always been curious about a Doctor Strange movie. I've always found him kind of interesting. Though I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the movie will start up some controversy with Christianity, because they don't like magic and stuff. That scares a lot of them. But I don't know.
The vast majority of us don't mind magic in movies.
Well, at least the ones you know. But
well, not really. It's just like Vigilant Christian Mario.
Well, because I did go to school. I did go in when I went to high school. I did know a kid who his parents would not let him watch like Harry Potter and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they were very against that. So, but they're out there.
Yeah, I know. Actually, my mom didn't want me to see Harry Potter when I was little either. Although later on, we actually did start reading the books and watching the movies. And actually, not even she thought that they were that bad.
Oh, sorry, this guy freaked me out. But
Okay.
But yeah. So yes, definitely.
Yeah, yes to Doctor Strange. There's King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
That it ends all right, but the first half is weird. Like it starts up like a comedy. Like it is so goofy. It's just like, oh, there's like them robbing people, and like, did you also put the new When the Bow Breaks trailer on there too? There's that too.
I don't think it was new.
Yeah, it was the second one. We only saw the first one.
All right. Well, we don't really see much more. It's just you know.
Well, yeah, but we'll talk. But
All right.
But it looks. I don't know. What did you think of it?
I guess it looks fine. It kind of looks like a kind of a generic medieval epic, though.
Yeah, and since I'm learning about medieval stuff, what I've been learning about King Arthur actually sounds way more interesting than what the heck they're doing in this movie.
Yeah.
Like what they're doing in the movie looks weird to me. I don't get it. Like especially at the beginning. Like the beginning starts off kind of silly. There's a lot of like it just kind of, I don't know what it is, why it's being, but it gets a little better. It starts to feel more like a medieval epic, I guess. But it's still, I don't know how to feel about this one. The trailer's kind of weird.
I guess it will work as like a predecessor to Transformers: The Last Knight.
Yeah, I guess.
Because you know that the next Transformers is working in like King Arthur mythology and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And,
I don't know.
Yeah, they're filming in Scotland right now. So I think it's like some medieval flashback scenes for like the opening of the movie. You can follow the entire thing on Alex Hughes' Raging Nation.
Right. Well,
okay,
I'm not that big into Transformers anymore, so it's like I don't need to look into that. I'll just wait for the movie or something.
Okay.
But it's interesting. So yeah.
So I guess maybe for Legend of the Sword.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just, like I said, I felt the trailer's kind of weird. I get it. It's kind of a strange like mix of a lot of things. I don't know. I think what I've learned about King Arthur from the stories and stuff sounds more interesting than what the heck they're doing with this one. I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know how far they're gonna go into it. I kind of want to ask if my teacher has seen it. If of my medieval, who's teaching me the medieval stuff in my class, I kind of want to see what he thinks, because he's always picking about that stuff. But yeah, so yeah, maybe. What else was there after that?
There was
Resident Evil Final Chapter, right?
Yep.
That I've actually. Have you seen the previous Resident Evil movies?
Yeah, I have.
What do you think of them?
They all suck.
You just think they're just bad in general?
Yeah,
I think
they're all the same too.
I don't think so. I actually do think there is a lot of differences, though. I actually think they all have at least something. Like, 'cause I enjoy them for me, they're guilty pleasures, because I have every single one of them, because for me they're, especially after Afterlife. Like Afterlife is just so dumb with the slow motion, and like the bad guy with the sunglasses, with everything he does in that movie with all the flips and stuff are taken exactly out of Resident Evil 5 the game. Like everything he does, the flipping when he dodges all their bullets, he's basically doing everything he did in Resident Evil 5 the game, basically. But yeah, the movies, I've always felt like I've always had things that I've enjoyed about them, but if you really think about them, like their continuity is always messed up. Like nothing ever continue. Everything that continues into it. Like if you what Phalis has reviewed all of them, but you should watch Phalis' reviews of them because
Okay.
their continuity is terrible. Like it's just like from each film, it's just like it's always weird. Like they try to explain things like why a character is not there or this other thing that happened, and it just doesn't make any sense. Another thing too is Alice Mila Jovovich's character is like the
Yeah.
only competent character in all the movies. Like she's the like everyone else
Mm-hmm.
is always an idiot and messes up when she always has to save them or something like
Yeah, and
that.
through it all,
Yeah.
she just keeps this blank face on.
Yeah, I know. I mean, she smiles sometimes and does some other stuff, but yeah, I just. But other than that, I still enjoy them from their guilty pleasures to me. So I am excited for this one. I always think there are parts that are interesting. Like I thought the last one had a really cool fight between her and Jill at the end, where was actually really cool. I thought that was actually really well handled because I do think Paul W.S. He'll have some good scenes, but his stories in general are just kind of a mess. He's kind of like Zack Snyder, except I think Zack Snyder's a little better than Paul W.S.
Yeah.
But still, like I'm surprised he's letting this end because this is the only thing for him that he makes that it makes any money. And that's only just because he's been shooting in Japan,
Yeah.
because he keeps shooting his films in Tokyo, and so of course the Japanese in Japan they keep giving him money, so it's just like so he's probably like I'm probably not gonna I probably need to end this now.
Well, remember, it's the supposedly final chapter.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done that before. I mean, like Friday the 13th
Yeah,
final chapter.
But yeah,
and
that's
then
because they made
the new
But
generation stuff.
I'm pretty sure this one's gonna be the last one because I think WS probably wants to move on because the original name for this was supposed to be Afterbirth or something like that. Like, but they changed it to the final chapter. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So because like I said, for me they're guilty pleasures, but I guess not for everyone else. But I do think they are different, especially because Paul W.S. doesn't direct all of them. He only directs the first one,
and the fourth and the fifth.
and the fourth and the fifth.
And this one, I think he directs this one.
Yeah, he writes and directs it. But the other ones, he writes all of them, but he only directs like he stops after like he doesn't direct Apocalypse and Extinction, but but what was the Afterlife and Retribution he did. So
yeah.
And he always has like some weird. Now he's up into slow motion, and he'll put things from the games in there, but they always make no sense.
And then there's like a lot of blurry slow motion that's unnecessary, annoying, especially in Apocalypse. It really
yeah, and yeah, just
that was really prominent in Apocalypse.
Because it's right when he introduced the characters from the games where the movies did start to go a little bit downhill, because the first one's all right because it's its own thing, but then after that I still enjoy them, but it's just after that he started to add the characters from the games, and it just makes and of course they can't do anything, they're idiots. Like when it looks like they're about to finish something off, she always has to come in and there's that scene from Afterlife where Alice gets knocked out, and then Claire has to fight the axe wielding monster, and then it looks like there's a scene where she looks like Claire actually gets lucky and kills the thing, but it gets back up. Alice has to show up, takes the gun from her, blows her head off, blows the thing's head off. Like, you couldn't let Claire finish. I'm pretty sure she could have turned around in time. The only thing I am a little disappointed is a lot of people are not coming back for this one. A lot of people who were alive in the last one are not coming back for, like, the only returning characters are Alice and Claire wasn't even in the last one. So I'm just like, that's kind of a bummer. Like, they can't explain they're just going to explain Leon and Ada died somewhere. Those are the characters that were introduced that are from the games that were in Retribution. Yeah. They even tried to start a romance relationship between Leon and Ada where he touched her leg. And it was like, that was so dumb. Just because it was in the games. I'm like, what? It's just like, but yeah, I'll still see it for fun, especially because there is a new Resident Evil game also coming out too, Resident Evil 7. So I guess that's what he's trying to capitalize on that. Yeah. So I mean, yes. What do you give?
I suppose so. Just to take the pleasure in it possibly being the last one.
Yeah, but like you said, it might not actually happen. It is coming out in January.
It comes out in January. Yeah. Well, to be fair, last January wasn't that bad. I mean, 13 hours and Finest Hours.
Yeah.
Though I still gotta see Finest Hours. It's not available on Redbox.
I have it though, but it's
Okay.
I only on Blu-ray. I think I don't know if there's a DVD I could look.
All right.
But I do want to talk about the new one, the Bow Breaks trailer, because it is
Okay.
different. I actually think if this was the first trailer, I actually might have thought about saying I might not have been like angry, because this is actually a much better trailer. I think
think
it's
so?
much better edited. Yeah, especially because it's just music mostly, and then it kind of builds and builds. I thought that was actually interesting. It's not great. There's still way better. There's trailers that have done it that are way better, but I still thought it was still interesting what they did. They changed it instead of, because the first one was just kind of really boring. It was just kind of just, here's the story. It kind of told almost the whole story, very closely almost did. This one I think was much better. Like, it doesn't tell. Like, this is how I think it's definitely a way more people should tell trailers. Like the movie Morgan, that basically spoils almost the entire movie. Like, I basically know what's gonna happen in that movie, for the most part. But it's just I feel like that's how they should have. More people should do it more mysterious that they did. But yeah, I'm.
Well, usually when it's giving like the main cast of a movie, when it says introducing this person, it usually means it's their first role. And in this trailer for When the Bow Breaks, it says introducing Jazz Sinclair. It's not her first role. She was Angela in Paper Towns.
Yeah, well, it could be that movie didn't do so well, so they're trying to make this their first vehicle to make her popular or whatever. That could be it. Or, like I said during the movie, this movie might have been filmed first. It's just they never released it. They probably never released it.
Well, that's true, but the trailer still came like long after Paper Towns was released.
Yeah. But I'm just saying they probably just never released it because they probably thought it was terrible. But then when they saw all these films all these thrillers with all black casts coming out, they're like, I think we can start to make some money off of this or something like that. And then they decided to release it because they know it's crap, but people will see it or something. That could be it. Or because there was Alice. And I can't pronounce her freaking last name. She was in the Beautiful Creatures movie. She was in that first, but the actual first film she was ever in, Grace and I think it's like Grace and Alice or something like that, or Maggie or something like that, or that actually came out afterwards. But since it was still technically her first movie, they still said introducing her. So it was like, but yeah.
All right, so I believe that's September 9th, 2 weeks from now. Next week we've got Morgan and the Light Between Oceans. I'm looking forward to Light Between Oceans most.
I believe the new Kevin Smith movie, Yoga Hosers, is also coming out that date.
Right.
Too. But I don't know if we'll get it anywhere nearby. But I want to see that one because I've actually never seen any of Kevin Smith movies in theaters because the ones that did come out, I was way too young for. Like, I didn't see Clerks 2. I was too young. That was in theaters when I was a kid. I was too young, couldn't see it. And Zack and Miri Make a Porno, I couldn't see that either because I was a kid. And Tusk wasn't anywhere nearby, and Red State as well were also nowhere nearby, so I missed those too. But that's why I'm kind of gonna, if it's at Lincoln Square, I'll try to see it on my own or something like that.
All right, so that should do it for now.
Well, actually, there are some movies that we reviewed that have been lost. Maybe we should give our grades. Sure, well, let's just grade them really quick. It shouldn't take that long.
Okay, Cubo and the Two Strings, B. Wild Dogs, B-. Ben-Hur, C.
Pete's Dragon, what did I give
Pete's
that?
Dragon, B-. I think you gave it a B or B+.
And then what do we give Kubo?
I'm guessing you give it an A+, right?
Yeah, A+. And
John gave it a B+.
And you gave it a C, right?
A B.
Oh, B. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's. And then what was another? I'm talking about our reviews that we lost. What was the other one we lost recently?
Zootopia.
Okay,
that was a while ago, but Zootopia.
We gave that A, I think. I think we all gave that A. But okay, so yeah, that's it. Sorry if we.
Okay, we're running out of breath.
Yeah.